Hello, everybody. This is Raheen, and welcome to my show. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a recorded one because I got this issue with my StreamYard. But I'm so, oh my God, I feel like I'm so privileged and so happy and so excited and just so overwhelmed that today I have Tanya here with me. I'm a big fangirl. In fact, all of my family is. We listen to her with like all of us family sitting together. So I think it's just like those kind of bucket list things that I'm doing with me, or like a wish list thing. So yeah, thank you so much for coming in. How are you doing?
It's so great to see you, Raheen. I'm very well and happy that it's all working well with the technology. We've got this up and running.
Oh my God, it's just so amazing to have you here, and so nice to hear you say that. So let's have your introduction for those very few people, let's just say, that don't know you, and then I think we can kickstart this interview.
Sure. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what got me interested in Hindustani music. First of all, let me just say my name's Tanya Wells. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm the vocalist of the band Seven Eyes, which in my band we explore music from various parts of the globe, including Brazil. We've got songs in Hindi, Urdu, and Sanskrit, and then also in French and Portuguese and English, obviously. I am British and Swiss, so my father's English, my mother's Swiss. I'm currently based in Switzerland, but grew up in India and in the UK, and also spent some years in Italy. So yeah, and my husband and musical partner Paulo Vinicius is from Brazil, and we're also going to move to Brazil after COVID madness sort of leaves. And so yeah, our music is very much informed by our experiences living in various countries, speaking various languages. Paulo speaks Portuguese, French, German, Italian. And so really wherever we are, it influences our music. And having spent several years living in Himachal Pradesh in India as a child, I learnt Hindustani classical music and dance, and so that has very much influenced my own musical taste. And so the music that we compose is a blend of all of these different influences, with also our original songwriting, our original compositions as well.
Yeah, and so tell me, is this from your childhood, or what really at first influenced you to just become a musician and be interested in music? Because what just really started that interest of music in you, that now you feel that language shouldn't be a barrier to music?
So music was always present in our household, and I have 3 sisters and a brother, all of whom are very musical as well. So I would grow up singing in harmony with my sisters when we were just at home or waiting for the school bus or during the washing up. And so music was always part of our everyday life. So I think that's important to say. It's just a very natural language, actually, music. And then I started learning Hindustani classical music when I was a bit older. So age 16, 17, I got the chance to study music in India. And that's really when I just fell in love with Indian music. And also because I was there as a child, it was always there in my memory. And I loved the ornamentation of the Indian classical vocal style. So I wanted to also learn how to, emulate the techniques and to grow as a vocalist. So I took regular classes with various teachers, some in India, some in the UK, to develop my vocal technique.
Yeah, and now tell me something. I've had many people say that, oh my God, but speaking in another language is different than singing in another language. So tell me, how many languages do you sing in?
Well, I sing in lots of different languages. Most recently, I've started singing in Portuguese because of the Brazilian repertoire that we're starting to perform. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm fluent in Portuguese or in Urdu or Hindi, but I have a basic level. And when I learn different songs, I learn more. So when I started learning ghazals with my teacher, it opened my world to Urdu because I was more familiar with Hindi living in India, but Urdu is very much, it's revered as a classical elitist language in India, in the sense that it's a very refined language. The poetry is very refined. You don't hear it often other than in the form of poetry in ghazal. So I did a lot of research, and I had some great teachers help me with pronunciation, with the meaning of certain Urdu words that I wasn't familiar with. So it's a process of learning and developing and listening.
Yeah, and for me to imagine me don't like knowing Urdu is like, oh my God, like my life without Urdu, because
it's your mother tongue.
Yeah, it is for me. And tell me, ghazals. I mean, for the longest time, ghazals and my dad listening to, I was like, why are you being such an old soul? Why are you being such an oldie? And I feel now that it's just so beautiful. But what part of it just attracted you so much to learn about them? How was your family's reaction when you started learning them?
Oh, okay. So 2 interesting questions. My first reaction of learning ghazals was it's so melodious, and the Urdu language is really beautiful to listen to. When you hear a ghazal recited, it's actually pleasant for the ear, even if you do not understand. It's just audibly beautiful. But that's the first thing. And secondly, the reaction of my parents was, so my father is, he doesn't understand the language. And I think if you're not aware of having heard a language, it feels quite alien. It feels different. But I think they really appreciate the beauty of the melody, and generally music is its own language. So you don't necessarily need to understand the meaning of the language in order to find it beautiful or pleasing to listen to. But generally, most people who are non-Urdu speakers find Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo, for instance, which is a song that Seven Eyes have performed in Pakistan. They listen to that and they say, it's so soothing, it's so beautiful. What is the meaning? Because the emotions of the song speak for itself, and the beauty of the melody speaks for itself. So I would say, as you said before, music has no linguistic, of course there is a linguistic barrier, but it's free in the sense emotions can carry themselves in the music.
That is just so true. Now, tell me, what effect or like what influence has music of like all languages that you've learned and you've performed and composed had an influence on you as a person and like you as an individual?
I think the more languages you learn, the more you're able to open up. Oh, sorry. My phone just announced I've got 20%. Sorry, I'll say that again. The more languages you learn, the more you're able to open up and speak with people from different parts of the world. And that is so rewarding because it opens you up not only to different cultures and different ways of living, but you become friends with people. I mean, you can understand various perspectives of life, So I think it really allows you to become much more of a well-rounded person if you can speak various languages. I mean, I'm sure with Urdu, English, with various languages that you have, Sindhi in Pakistan, you can also connect to different communities within your country, right? So it's the same thing within Europe. There's English and French and Spanish and Italian. You can enable yourself to meet all of these different cultures and people. And it's so rewarding because you are able to somewhat walk walk with a sense of openness to different people, and that's a really enjoyable thing.
Mm-hmm. And now tell me, how did your band Seven Eyes just come to be? How was it like coming together as a band? And I think you mentioned earlier, if I'm not wrong, your husband as well is part of the band. So how did that happen?
So the band really came after my marriage with Paolo. So he's also a musician. We met, we got married, and very quickly we joined forces musically. So he's a classical trained guitarist, and he studied in very notable classical schools in Europe. And he's also got lots of knowledge of Brazilian music. So when we came together as a couple, it just made sense that we make music together, because as a vocalist, I can also benefit so much from his knowledge and wisdom of music, and vice versa. So we started actually writing songs together. We very quickly wrote our first album, which is called The Seed, which you can hear on Spotify and Apple Music and all the rest of it. And we decided to just create a band so that we can continue making music together.
That is so beautiful. And when did it happen? Was it like your first album that people started recognizing you and then you started doing concerts? Because I still remember like the first time I'm like, but she's singing in Hindi. And then, then I put on something else and I'm like, but she's singing in Urdu. How is that possible? And I feel like just that aspect of your band and that aspect of you as, the vocalist and also like the lead vocalist automatically just brings up. So when was it that you really started, being recognized and, that famous thing just started, getting in?
Well, you know what, it was a sort of moment, I would say. We uploaded a video on our Seven Eyes channel. It was actually Gulu Mein Rang Bhare, which is a beautiful ghazal, which Mehdi Hasan Saab sang, but also was penned by Faiz Ahmed Faiz. And what happened was, after this video went viral in Pakistan and also in India, we were then invited to perform at various international festivals, both in Pakistan. So we performed in Lahore, we went to Islamabad, where I believe you are now, and we performed in Karachi. So it was really a reaction from some of these videos, which is why people wanted us to also perform in these various festivals. And from there, that leads on to other openings and other projects. So we've been very fortunate, thanks to the internet, thanks to YouTube, that we've been able to actually reach a large audience around the world. And also with our own music, we are able to do some performances in Sao Paulo, in Brazil, and in London. And so our audience is quite diverse. It's not one audience, it's a diverse audience. So they're different musical styles that we play for different audiences around the world. So for instance, in Brazil, we wouldn't necessarily play ghazals. We would play Brazilian music. So it depends.
Yeah, and that is just so amazing. I feel like having diverse audiences and then also singing just so diversely just makes so much sense. Now, I told you like various times, I'm a big fan, so I'd love to hear something from you. And Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo is something that is of a must. So I'd love to hear anything, honestly, as much as you would want to share right now.
Okay. तुम ही सोचो जरा क्यों न हो के तुम्हें जान जाते जब उठ के जाते हो तुमको अपनी कसम जाने जा बात इतनी मेरे मान लो आज जाने किस इतना करो.
Oh my God. I mean, honestly, after also reading all the comments, I'm like, yes, this is so soothing, and like hearing it, I wouldn't
It's
necessarily
such a
say
beautiful
live,
song.
but kind of like in the moment rather than like a YouTube video. Oh my God, this is so beautiful just being here. So now I'd like to ask,
Thank you, Rahina. Thanks for
just
having me.
small little questions to you. If anybody would want to reach out to you, how can they do so? Where are you most reachable?
Right. So we're most active on Instagram and on YouTube and on Facebook. So most of those platforms we engage with a lot. So you can find us at 7 Eyes Official on Instagram, or 7 Eyes Official on Facebook, or 7 Eyes on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe. We've got lots of really exciting projects coming up. We're working on our new album. We're releasing monthly videos. So you can check out all of these projects. And actually, we're going to do a ghazal project with some amazing musicians from Pakistan and also from India. So watch out for that.
That is amazing. Just like the fangirl in me said, oh my God, they're doing new projects. Thank you so much, Tanya, just for joining me. It's like a dream come true interviewing you. And I wish that we can have more sessions on music and or like more focused topics on my page. I'd love if you would be open for that. And yeah.
Raheen, great. And well done for, doing your thing so confidently. And I really encourage you to go far and just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If there's any feedback or any questions, you can always comment, or you can reach me out on Facebook or on YouTube. So thank you so much.